Welcome back to Real Talk Unfiltered. Today's hot button issue, the growing expectations around government assistance. I mean, when a single mom demands 800 per kid a month, is that just meeting needs or crossing into entitlement territory?
It's a wild shift, isn't it? I've seen posts where folks treat government aid like a salary, not a safety net. It's almost as if we're normalizing the idea that assistance should match or exceed what working folks actually earn, which is pretty divisive.
Right. And it breeds resentment among taxpayers footing the bill. Meanwhile, some argue this is just a logical response to rising costs, groceries, rent, childcare, you name it. Where do we draw the line between support and enabling?
It's a tough balance. On one hand, inflation is eating away at paychecks. But on the other, if the system rewards not working more than working, you risk punishing effort and creating lifelong dependency. That's a recipe for social friction.
Let's pivot to food stamps SNAP benefits. Are these programs functioning as temporary help, or have they turned into a lifestyle subsidy for some?
I think it depends who you ask. For many, food stamps are a lifeline during tough times, job loss, health crises. But there's no denying you see folks gaming the system, using benefits for luxuries, or even trading them for non-essentials.
There's that viral story of someone buying TVs and junk food with SNAP while working parents get denied for making too much. It's almost like you're punished for trying. The original purpose was a bridge, not a permanent replacement for income.
Exactly, and as costs rise, calls for expanded benefits grow louder. But if eligibility creeps up and oversight slips, you risk turning a targeted program into an unsustainable free-for-all.
Here's a sticking point: the infamous benefits cliff. People working hard as CNAs, earning 9.5 an hour, lose aid because they barely cross an income threshold. Is the system inadvertently trapping people in poverty?
Absolutely. Imagine you're earning just enough to disqualify for help, but not enough to actually thrive. It's like climbing a ladder and finding the next rung missing. Some end up resorting to drastic measures like taking on extra jobs or, as we heard, even stripping to feed their kids.
And meanwhile, those who work less or not at all might access more assistance. It's a perverse incentive structure. Shouldn't there be a smoother phase out, so working more always pays off?
That's what progressive benefit models aim for, gradually reducing aid as income rises. But until reforms are made, the cliff keeps trapping families exactly where the system claims to help them escape.
Switching gears, what about the middle class? Teachers in Florida making 40, 50, barely getting by after rent, bills, and food. Should they be eligible for government assistance too?
That's a growing argument. The cost of living has outpaced wages for a lot of folks, not just the poor. But expanding benefits to the middle class means either higher taxes or less for those in deeper need. It opens a whole new can of worms.
Some propose a universal benefit, like a child allowance or monthly food stipend, to level the field. But is that realistic with already stretched budgets?
It's a policy debate playing out globally. Countries like Canada and the UK have tried versions of it, but funding and targeting remain huge hurdles. We'd need a complete overhaul to avoid the pitfalls already plaguing existing programs.
Let's talk time limits. Should there be a cap on how long someone can receive benefits? Some say 3, 4, maybe 5 years max, then move on. Is that fair or too harsh?
It's a controversial topic. Time limits can motivate people to find stability, but what about those facing chronic barriers, disability, lack of childcare, or economic downturns? On the flip side, unlimited benefits can foster generational dependence, where assistance becomes a family tradition.
We've seen cases where someone's been on aid since 19 and still collecting at 50. That's not what these programs were designed for. But abrupt cutoffs could leave vulnerable people destitute.
A middle ground might be transitional supports, case management, job training, and stronger exit ramps. The goal should be empowerment, not endless reliance or sudden abandonment.
Here's where things get heated: the optics. Critics point to people with fresh nails, new hair, and designer clothes, all while living in subsidized housing and paying 12 rent. Is this a fair criticism or just class shaming?
It's complicated. The stereotype ignores the majority who struggle quietly. But let's be honest, visible abuse exists. Trading EBT for luxuries or flaunting a lifestyle beyond means can erode public trust and fuel resentment, especially among working families scraping by.
But can you police how people spend every dollar? Some argue dignity means autonomy, even if it offends the taxpayer's sense of justice.
True, but when the system is gamed, it threatens support for everyone. Maybe the answer is more transparency and targeted restrictions, but that's a slippery slope toward paternalism.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty underground economy. Stories abound of people trading food stamps for cash, nails, gold, even TVs. How big is this black market, really?
It's bigger than most realize. USDA estimates over 1 billion in SNAP benefits are trafficked annually. The going rate? 50 cents on the dollar for EBT in cash or goods. It's illegal, but desperate times create innovative hustles, and enforcement can't keep up.
And it's not just individual small stores collude, ringing up fake purchases and splitting the profits. The government pays for food that never leaves the shelf, and taxpayers foot the bill. It's organized crime, plain and simple.
Absolutely. These scams siphon resources from those who genuinely need help, driving calls for stricter oversight and even tech solutions like traceable EBT transactions.
Speaking of organized crime, Ohio just busted a 150 zero EBT ring cloned cards, fake tags, the works. The Department of Job and Family Services reports 17 million lost to a SNAP fraud in less than a year. What's fueling these elaborate schemes?
It's a perfect storm: lax oversight, high benefit values, and easy-to-hack systems. Fraudsters clone cards, buy bulk candy and energy drinks, then resell for cash. It's like a heist movie, only the loot comes from America's social safety net.
Meanwhile, legitimate recipients face stricter checks while criminals find loopholes. Should we invest more in fraud prevention tech or overhaul the whole system?
Both, ideally. Other countries use biometric cards or real-time tracking. But without political will and public buy-in, patchwork fixes won't stop determined scammers.
Let's not forget those left behind, like the 86-year-old mother denied food stamps after a lifetime of work while healthy adults cash in. Are we misallocating resources?
That's the tragedy. The working poor and elderly often slip through the cracks due to rigid rules or outdated eligibility formulas. Meanwhile, some able-bodied adults with no dependents navigate the system for maximum gain. It's backwards.
And when you see someone with a nearly empty shopping cart calculating every item versus the SNAP shopper with overflowing buggies, it's no wonder frustration festers. Should we prioritize based on effort and contribution?
Ideally, aid should target the most vulnerable children, seniors, disabled. But politics and bureaucracy complicate it. A more responsive, data-driven approach could help, but would require major reform.
Bringing it all together, where do we go from here? How do we balance compassion, accountability, and fiscal sanity in our welfare programs?
First, we need honest conversations, no demonizing, but no sugarcoating either. Reforms could include time limits, gradual phase-outs, tighter fraud controls, and more support for the working poor. But ultimately, we have to decide, is welfare a hand up or a handout?
And as we've seen, when accountability dies, so does public trust. Maybe the answer is a system that rewards effort, supports crisis recovery, and shuts down abuse while keeping the safety net strong for those who truly need it.
Couldn't have said it better. If we get that balance right, maybe one day there won't be viral videos of people begging for more while the quiet strivers keep getting less. That's the real test of any society's welfare system.